Bruce Lipton reveals how your mind holds the secret to transforming your life. So discover the science behind reprogramming beliefs, reshaping reality, and breaking free from limits. No matrix pills required. So let's dive in and learn how to create health, happiness, and success, all from within. Do you ever find yourself questioning the big philosophies in life? Like the meaning of life, or the nature of the universe? Or have any of those already been solved? Well, as it turns out, even the CNCs of ancient philosophers got it right centuries before. See, these concepts, known as the Hermetic principles, date back to about 5,000 years ago and appear to encompass what modern science is only in the process of discovering. This is where Bruce Lipton, a cell biologist, comes in to help explain these wondrous findings. It became clear to Lipton through his work that all of these issues are not only philosophical, but they're also scientific insights. So let's dive into the Hermetic principles, blending ancient knowledge with Lipton's research, all while keeping it casual. Just imagine you're sitting across from a wise friend who's breaking down some of the universe's most profound ideas in an easygoing, friendly way. Am I the great, all-powerful, all-knowing, great kami guru? No, I'm just a guy, but we can have a talk anyway. Okay, so we got the first principle, which is called mentalism, and that says that all is mind, the universe is mental. This might sound kind of mysterious unless you're from across the pond, in which case it sounds like the universe is just crazy, but it's actually kind of simple. The easy version is that our thoughts and awareness play a really big role in shaping our reality. Want to hear something kind of nuts? This idea even lines up with discoveries in quantum physics. Scientists like Max Planck have suggested that consciousness, or awareness itself, might be a core part of what reality is made of. In other words, how we think, feel, and see the world can actually shape the world that we experience. Bruce Lipton of Washington State University has provided empirical evidence to support the same notion. He discovered that every thought and belief has physiology to it, including at the cellular level. For example, consider the placebo effect. People often get better just because they think that a treatment's going to work, even if that treatment is just a sugar pill. That means that the healing doesn't come from the pill, it comes from their belief in it. Similarly, the nocebo effect shows that negative thoughts or beliefs can cause negative health effects too. Lipton believes that our mental attitudes and beliefs shape much of our own life experiences. And I theorize that because our thoughts can shape reality, that's why the entire solar system is surrounded by the Kepler belt of asteroids to keep us in and aliens out. But we'll get into that another time. So the next principle is correspondence. Now this is the classic. As above, so below. As below, so above. Basically, it's all about patterns. The small stuff reflects the big stuff. Think of a fractal, an endlessly repeating pattern that looks the same at any level. You zoom in, and it's still the same pattern as the larger whole. Clickety-clickety-click, enhance. It's the same. Clickety-clickety-clack, enhance. It's the same. Lipton dives deep into this idea through cell biology. He shows us that the processes happening inside one single cell mirror the functions of our entire body. Cells breathe, they digest, they even defend themselves, just like we do on a larger scale. So the same way that a single cell works can actually help us understand the entire human body and even in some ways, the universe. Vibration might be one of the easiest principles to grasp. The idea is simple. Nothing rests, everything is constantly moving and vibrating. Ancient thinkers somehow understood that every atom in the universe is in motion, a discovery that science would confirm thousands of years later. Maybe Stargate was onto something with those pyramids. Okay, so Lipton explains this using atoms. They're not static things, they're more like swirling vortices of energy, each one sending out ripples. He likes to call them nano-tornadoes. Now you might not see them, but you definitely feel their force if you got close enough. Everything we perceive as solid is, at its essence, just energy and motion. In fact, when quantum physics peaks inside atoms, they don't find anything physical in the traditional sense. See, where there's energy, it's always vibrating. This ancient principle is like a nod from the past, reminding us that nothing is truly at rest. Honestly, just think about spiral arms of the galaxy. Same thing. Okay, then there's polarity, which kind of sums up as everything has poles. Think of this as opposites, light and dark, good and bad, night and day, Optimus and Megatron. Charmander and Squirtle. You get the idea. We generally have a tendency to think of these as separate, but they're actually just different expressions of the same thing. Just imagine a sine wave, right? A line that goes up and down in a continuous rhythm. At the top, it's positive, at the bottom, it's negative, but it's all a part of the same wave. And honestly, what happens if you flip it over? Lipton uses this to talk about how we experience the world. We see opposites everywhere, positive and negative, happy and sad, but just like the wave, they're all part of the same spectrum. If we only see one side of it, say just the positive or just the negative, then we miss the bigger picture. See, life is about understanding and balancing both sides of the wave. Here's one that we can see playing out every single day: rhythm. This principle says that everything has its own tides and its own phases. Just like seasons change, so does everything else in the universe. Lipton says that this rhythm shows up in our lives as natural highs and lows. There are times when everything seems to be going our way, and then there's times when it feels off balance, like the universe is trying to kick our teeth in. But what's the trick here? Well, that's to stay in the flow. Rather than seeing all of these as abrupt shifts of good or bad, Lipton suggests riding the wave, understanding that life is just a cycle. Historically, indigenous cultures got this. They lived with a sense of balance, accepting both the high and the low phases. They understood that life isn't about resisting change, but it's about moving along with it. Lipton even touches on how this idea has shaped our cultural evolution. You see, humanity began in balance. It moved into spiritual polytheism, then monotheism, then materialism, and now it seems we're swinging back towards something more balanced, acknowledging both the spiritual and the material aspects of life. Cause and effect might be the principle that hits closest to home. Everything happens for a reason, and every action has a reaction. This principle is the foundation of science itself, where every result is traced back to a cause. Lipton expands on this in terms of our biology. Our beliefs and choices don't just affect our minds, they influence our cells and even our genes. Think of it as a ripple effect. If we believe something strongly enough, it can actually change our physical health. This principle also challenges the concept of chance, suggesting that randomness is just a cause that we haven't recognized yet. Everything is connected, and understanding this can give us a whole new level of personal responsibility for our actions. Finally, we reach gender. Now, this principle doesn't strictly mean male and female, but rather a balance of energies. Every creation and every action requires both masculine or active and feminine or receptive qualities. This blend of energies is essential for harmony and creativity. Lipton hints at this when discussing healing and consciousness. In our modern world, there's been an over-focus on the masculine energy of doing, achieving, and controlling. But real healing often requires the feminine energy of allowing, receiving, and being in harmony. And for true well-being, both energies need to be in balance. So what's the takeaway? Bruce Lipton's work suggests that these ancient principles aren't just old-school philosophy. They're blueprints for a better understanding of ourselves and the universe. Through a blend of ancient Hermetic wisdom and modern science, Lipton shows us that our thoughts shape reality, that we're connected to the universe on every level, and that the rhythm of life is something that we can choose to flow with rather than fight against. You know, it's really fascinating to realize that the wisdom of the ancients wasn't just abstract philosophy. It was, and still is, a powerful guide for living a balanced, meaningful life. Thanks to pioneers like Lipton, we can see that the Hermetic principles aren't just a thing of the past. They're relevant tools for a better, more connected future. So, what do you think here? Are you ready to explore how those ancient principles just might shape your own life? Let me know what you plan on doing in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.